got him.
What we wanted all along.
Yeah.
In fairness, when we first said about doing this really maybe shit idea, we're playing golf and talking, we said the only person we want is Luke.
Yeah.
That Luke didn't turn up, so...
This will probably be the end of the series though, because we've enjoyed the chase.
Yeah, right.
We knew that you had a good story to tell because you've obviously done a lot of construction, which is relevant to what we do and what people obviously watch and do as well. But if those don't know who he is, this is Luke Blanchard. You introduce yourself, mate.
Yeah, Luke Blanchard, Managing Director of Southern Structures, groundwork company in and formwork reinforced concrete in Southampton. Around the corner from you guys.
Yeah.
Wrong side.
The dark side.
Oh yeah, sorry, so
No,
Southampton, did I? And Portsmouth.
As Dan said, we've been excited about this one, mate. You're on a similar path to us. You've been in it a long time.
And he's shitty golf as well. So
Shit, golf so far.
it's all equal, isn't it?
You might make
It's
me,
in a straight line, is it? So,
you might make me look all right this afternoon.
yeah, well,
All right, but
we'll see.
we'll have a chat about where you've been, where we're going.
Yeah.
Don't hit golf ball then.
Let's get deep.
So we actually got a bet on this or anything? Are we actually gonna?
No.
Oh,
Maybe
well, I want to go towards the tree, don't
Yes.
I?
yeah, maybe if you stopped organising golf and then the day before saying, oh yeah, sorry, I can't do that now.
I'm trying to concentrate, mate. Fucking hell.
He's missed it.
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
I didn't swing my hips, so I'll try again.
Look, he missed the ball.
I didn't swing my hip.
Fuck's
He
sake.
didn't swing his hips.
Well, at least I ain't got all the gear either. I can't even hit the ball. Nice.
Done.
A double pump.
Thanks for making me feel welcome.
Actually, $2. No more.
Right, come on. It's embarrassing.
Dinger.
A little bit better. There you go.
First week, so pure and right.
So pure.
So pure. Just how raw we are, though.
Like that little double fucking pump. So why did it take you so long?
Dig on the podcast.
On the podcast?
Oh, what? To join HardHats or to
No,
go on the podcast? Well, yeah, believe it or not, I am busy. Some of us work. I don't know. No, I think last time just a couple of meetings came up, didn't they? And I had to cancel, but obviously want to be here. Couldn't think of being anywhere else. in the
cold
world.
January day.
On a
yeah.
cold January day?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're looking after you for a while now, but what sort of made you look for, not us, but a solution to the problem?
So I guess I want to do the right thing, and running a business, you need to be compliant with legislation. So when I first started, I was aware, or I'd seen one of your adverts or something on LinkedIn, I think, and I never really, where I worked before, I never really sort of liked the idea, or didn't. The payroll. The payroll model of how most subcontracting businesses operate just was basically what I saw was like a false ceiling in between the actual real relationship of us and the contractor and the self-employed guy. So yeah, when I saw and heard and understood what you guys did, I obviously just looked into it a little bit more, and I believe that I have in place, or we have in place, an actual contract that is reflective of how we engage with our self-employed people. So yeah, just want to do the right thing.
Yeah. So the payroll thing, because let's be honest, payroll companies, there is a market for them out there, for firms who want support for the payroll bit. So the idea of giving up your payroll, is that something that you feel you didn't need, or is unnecessary?
I don't really understand it at the end of the day. To be like, it's just very basic in my head. Like, we need people to work, and there's either employment, there's either directly employed PAYE staff, or there's self-employed. And we are engaging with them in and putting them to work. Regardless of which one option that is.
Yeah.
And other than the function of physically paying people, the payroll companies aren't doing anything, and it's just what I believe is sort of if there is an issue, or they don't get involved or understand construction whatsoever, or what the actual arrangement is between us, and if there's a legal dispute or anything like that, I just don't believe that is the payroll companies are actually aware of the actual circumstances that are involved in.
Not involved in day to day.
No.
Do you know what? That's quite an interesting viewpoint, and we'll probably chat about the commercial side in a bit more. But people often just think about the use of a brolly or a payroll company or any of these third parties is just for the HMRC side, and of course you've touched on that because you want to stay compliant. But you've thought of the bigger picture as well. If there's an issue between.
Well, they're taking money off people, aren't they, at the end of the day, and money is important to everyone, and in some cases I think it's actually quite a significant amount of money. I think people are probably having to pay more than an hour's work to pay these payroll people, and if you've got a significant amount of self-employed people, you have to, we have to transfer our money to these companies before they're paid, and again, that's a risk, and not a risk really I would want to do, and again, don't really see why I should be transferring a huge sum of money that's only going to be passed to the people that I'm engaging with. So, although I know there is a fee involved with you guys, but you are physically paying for to be doing the right thing for that contract, which is setting out.
Compliance, yeah, you're paying for the compliance.
Yeah, so
Not for the payroll bit that you don't need.
I just feel like you guys are obviously the specialists, but I haven't looked to see what sort of cases have gone to HMRC, but if they come knocking on my door, I just feel I feel happy that I can welcome them in and show them the arrangement that I've got in place with them, and not really have a sleepless night about it. Whereas with a payroll company, I just don't have that. It's just in my opinion a bullshit a bullshit agreement.
Well, look, I like what you just used there, the false ceiling,
Yeah.
and.
Clearly, it's
It's interesting to hear that opinion, because this is why we do it. We don't get those insights. We're usually just laughing at your t-shirts. On that note. Yeah, nice. No. Short. Yeah, still fat though. I never really understand what you do.
concrete.
I know it's concrete jungles.
Makes two of us, mate. Yeah.
And you basically rebuild the tricorn.
The what?
Tricorn.
Yeah, I forgot your SO, not PO.
Oh, okay.
We can actually cut to a shot there of the tricorn, because it's the most, I think got voted the ugliest building in the UK, and it's like an old concrete structure.
Where is the tricorn?
It was in Portsmouth. It got knocked
Cascades
down
car
now.
park.
Oh, is that bad?
Yeah.
I think we did build that actually.
So what is it? So I know it's the it's the
Is it?
Yeah. There it is.
yeah. Concrete frames, predominantly what you guys do.
What's your specialism?
What's the
Yeah, so
specialism?
really it starts with concrete frames or basements and the associated groundwork. So yeah, I've sort of, my experience was in groundworks when I first started, and I'm a QS by trade, and did 10 years of groundworks, and then I got involved in concrete frames basically for another 10 years, and then I just really enjoyed concrete frames, which at the time there wasn't really a concrete frame contractor, quite a specialist contractor, and predominantly based out of London. So yeah, just really enjoyed it, and the groundwork and the concrete frame go hand in hand with each other, and just sort of I've just continued that, and that's what Southern Structures is really.
Right, and that's more concrete frames are commercial, right? You wouldn't find you on a housing site.
Not really. I mean, you do have residential buildings, but they're typically they're not. Southampton isn't like a mega city like Bristol or Birmingham or Manchester.
Portsmouth.
So but Portsmouth, Southampton, Bournemouth don't tend. Bournemouth maybe a little bit more, but don't tend all that often like to have a high-rise building. So when you guys are driving around Portsmouth, you probably won't see a tower crane that frequently.
No.
So a little bit few and far between. So a little bit we have to stretch our working area sort of from Brighton down to sort of Dorchester or as far as Bristol and up to the M25 towards London. Yeah, we just have to go where the work goes. So yeah, We don't work on open fields where they're building, you know, the same house type on a 500 unit site. You know, we're on a postage stamp, you know, in the middle of a city centre, typically. But you know, it's all about the purpose of the building. You know, so you'll typically have we've done laboratories or nuclear decommissioning, or hospitals. Yeah, so
Niche stuff.
yeah, like sort of but sort of very robust and essentially what's got to have a heavy load, which is why it's such a substantial method.
And a classic question for construction firms: busy?
Oh yeah, flat out, yeah, inundated, yeah.
Always room for more though, right?
Well,
A job too small? A job
yeah.
too big?
We always, unfortunately, the sad part of my job is sort of not really enjoying or being as present as I probably should be of what's going on the day to day. I'm sort of constantly focusing on the pipeline and looking ahead and what the next job is. So sort of a lot of energy that goes into win a job. But as soon as that's won, you know, you're on to the next one. We've been quite fortunate the last couple of years where we've had a couple of big jobs. So there's just a repetition of workload, you know, for a long period of time. But yeah, those jobs aren't really, those jobs are few and far between. And there's not any of those on the South Coast at the moment. So we're sort of doing more jobs and smaller value, and they're just as hard work as the bigger jobs, really, because it's all about getting them set up.
Yeah, of course.
So.
The hill ball, is it?
No, it's Luke's.
All right, hit that pipe then.
Miles away. It's outside about 2 cups to the left.
Did you drop that ball there?
But then, it was an awful putt, but
That one's worse.
That's about 4 cups, wasn't it?
no, you meant to hit it, mate.
We'll pick these up, shall we?
I actually can't play golf at the best of times. I'm fucking rubbish with a camera on my back.
Oh. Hi. Yeah. Hi, mate.
Hi.
Hi. So, you scaled quite big, right?
The start was quite a
Was that always the plan though, to grow quick, or just because the work?
well, I guess what
come first?
What come first, chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Where I worked before, you know, the sort of the big contracts were sort of just what I was used to, and the contacts that I had in the industry, I guess. So naturally, starting my own business, you know, the only people I could really talk to was the people that I knew. So that's sort of really how and why, you know, the speed and the size of the business did what it did in the first couple of years. Some of the relationships that I had, there was a couple of clients that gave me work sort of as I got going, and enabled me to sort of get to where we are today.
So how did you find it coming from? Obviously, we worked in quite a big company. Was you a QS when you left? Or
No.
What were you doing at the time? Was you running a whole division when you left?
Yeah, so I was running a concrete frame part of a business, and then for about a year, 18 months, the concrete frame and the groundwork businesses merged, and then I was the managing director of that business, doing the groundworks and the concrete frame under one banner.
So transition, basically, the same. You're still doing the same job, but just for yourself under your own banner, I guess.
Yes, yeah, exactly the same, yeah. And and I'd grown up doing groundworks anyway, and then the concrete frames that I did a little bit later on. And then that's obviously sort of just what I've been used to, and what I then created with some structures.
So are you JCB all the way through?
No, purely just to play the golf. It's cost me 3 diggers and some dumpers. Yeah. This hole's for you though, isn't it? If you're left-handed,
My ball goes right to left.
The old baby fade.
Slice.
Yeah.
Sliced as well.
Oh, shit. Nice. Of course.
Oh, isn't it? Probably 200 yards, do you?
That didn't even get to the bunker, did it?
Did 200 look, yeah?
Oh,
That's embarrassing. Yeah. Oh, shot. Yeah.
So obviously you started out on your own, but you say you had big contracts and inquiries coming in. How did you go from having a proper business with proper systems, proper people, to on your own and having to deliver these contracts from day one?
So obviously I sort of knew what the systems and processes were, and
So you knew what good looked like.
yeah, and I was fortunate. I'd worked in in a good business before. But yeah, like you guys will know, a good business is about good people, and fortunately, I was just very lucky to have some good people that started with me at the very beginning. That's been a challenge the whole way through, and I'm sure will remain a challenge till the bitter end. But people is definitely the first one, especially if you're growing, because you can't do everything on your own.
people aside, obviously there's a financial implication from going from nothing to the size. But how did you build trust in the clients as well? Because that's a big thing. It's ultimately a promise that you're.
Yeah, well, it's everything. It's just a combination of lots of things that come together, and it's obviously very easy to look back at it. And I'm very fortunate and appreciative of how it has gone, because there's so many ways that it could go, and there's things you can't control, and there's so many there's so many elements to make it a success, and it's not really a secret that at the moment, or there's been some struggles in the last 4 years that that I've been operating through. Literally, it was just after COVID. Then there was hyperinflation. We've had a new government. It's just one thing after another. But yeah. People being the main thing. Cash is obviously really critical, but we have a supply chain, and I was used to working with national or sort of global suppliers that unfortunately everyone is now sort of insurance backed, so it's not just give Luke some credit down your local builders merchants. It's computer says no because you've got no trading history. Obviously, how do you get trading history? You need to trade. But you can't trade without credit. Yeah, and that was the thing I probably struggled with the most, is that where I was going into such large contracts from the get-go. I had to have a lot of people put their trust in me. Not only the clients, I was involved in a business previous of delivering work, but this is new, and this is this was really a complete test of and proof of if I could actually do it or not. But that's not me at all. It's a team of people that are all doing it, and and so far we're here to tell the tale.
Well, you've done a lot of things right, but what's the, and that's cheesy, but what's the biggest mistake you made so far? They think, I wish I didn't do that. Because we all make mistakes.
Well, I think my sort of like strength and weakness is I am very positive and optimistic, but it could have really got me in trouble, because from
taking too much on, you mean?
From the start, it's a very satisfying feeling that a lot of people wanted me to do work with them, and if someone's asking you to do a job for them, you sort of almost feel like you can't say no. And if you start a business, you just got to keep your ego in check, and it's very easy to win lots of work, but you've got to back that up, and unfortunately in construction it's completely relationship based, and you're only really remembered from your last job. So you mess that up, and then you ruin the relationship. So yeah, I had to sort of like really sort of like slow. The growth was very, very fast over the first 2 years. I mean, the first year was 8 million, the second was 14, and the third was 17. So you can see that actually now, and we're sort of stabilised at the same number for this year. But certainly couldn't keep going at that rate, because you would ultimately fall over, and that is also not why I'm running the business either, because I'm not trying to make it a massive business. I'm trying to create a
we see it all the time though with the bigger firms who take too much on, they grow, more risk, and then a couple of the old blocks come out of the Jenga tower, and the whole lot comes down because they keep saying yes to the wrong
How many
jobs.
conversations we had here with like clients and people we just generally know that say, I make more money when I've got a team of 15 people
Yeah.
than I did when I had 70.
Yeah.
Because the
More
stress-
subbies doesn't mean more money.
No, it doesn't. But what you said there, mate, I can relate to. Having success in a previous business doesn't mean that you've made it. So
No.
you've got to go and do it again on your own. And being on that journey with Universal and now with HardHats, you kind of really understand in the early days who are the key people around you, because
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't know you two guys before, and I've obviously said this to you before. I didn't know you two guys before. We now work together, and I think this is sort of probably a trait of a lot of business owners, is you probably don't give yourself a pat on the back, or no one gives you a pat on the back, because
Of course not.
yeah, you're the person that's got to be firefighting and taking the brunt of all the pain, and hopefully the success, when it comes. But you guys have flipped the model of how people engage with self-employed people, and I haven't done that too. Because I was your mate before and trying to give you a bit of a hand. Like I said before, I think you are doing the right thing. But it's a huge risk what you've done, and you don't know that it's going to work, and you've got to invest all your time, money, and energy, and you don't know what the outcome will be. And and it looks like you guys are doing well, and that's very similar to what I've done. People could like me as a person, people could think I'm a really nice guy or whatever, but actually if I don't deliver the work, then it doesn't matter if I'm a nice person.
no, exactly.
So
I think you're right there. You've just got. I think this is one of the lessons you've probably learned from coming in. Dan hasn't ever worked for himself. I know you're MD, and you still got that element of responsibility. Dan never had that particular one. You've just got to back yourself. Because if you back yourself,
You can't shy away from taking risks. I learned. You not always make the right decision.
I don't think I've ever said this to you.
actually, I don't even get down on one knee, do I? I look like I already am.
But the team you've got behind you have really helped us shape the business to what it is now, with the feedback that they've given around onboarding subbies, the right to works, the share code, the IDs, CSCS cards. And from that, we've now created a roadmap of tech and development, which is actually becoming the nucleus of the business.
Yeah, well, actually, that wasn't even a question. So, thanks for that statement. but actually, that was something I was thinking about, because something I did actually take for granted, and I do value. Don't get involved. I'm obviously involved in the nuts and bolts of what happens once people are onboarded. But I think you have done really well of making that process really user friendly and really straightforward and very advanced in this day and age. You use your phone, or each self-employed person uses WhatsApp to put in their details. It's not this long-winded, got to go onto a laptop. Some people in the industry don't know how to use a computer, and need to be shown all the information they need to put in. Print this out and whatever, scan that, and it's sent back via email. And it's dealt with very swiftly, and it covers a whole host of things, like the baseline questionnaire, which is obviously quite a
your medical questionnaire.
it's obviously quite an in-depth survey you've got to fill out, and it's all done with tick boxes and approve this and sign it and send it off. So I think that can be taken for granted, because that's obviously cost you a lot of money, and you've had to develop that app yourself. So it's very specific to what you do, but it makes the journey, not only that I believe it's the right thing to do over a payroll company, but then actually when you are engaged with yourselves, it's actually very easy. It's not like everyone, I'm being told by the accounts people that, bloody hell, these HardHats lot of fucking hard work, and there's none of that. It's just very straightforward.
Well, the app's customer led. Obviously, I had the idea of onboarding clients or subbies through our portal, get the contracts out. But then it was people like in your office, Kerry, and people like that, where it was like, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do that? What about this? And it sort of shaped, like you said, our roadmap. Now, where we want to go with it is basically what people are asking for.
Yeah, we're governed. anyone who says they know what they're doing in life, we all know that, right?
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't have a clue when it comes to. We knew that the technology was coming into construction. There was a need for it, but the only people who are going to tell us what they actually want are our clients. So we have to listen to the likes of, like Dan said, Kerry, Kelly, and all of the other clients that are utilising it. And if we can just make your life a little bit easier, then...
Well, at the end of the day, that's your taking business seriously, because your priority and core part of your business is the customer experience.
Exactly.
It's not just you've got sales and you've got people on board. You're actually thinking about how easy is this for our customers to use, and not only stopping there, how do we improve it and make it better?
And let's face it, if we were the pain in the arse that there was always being moaned about in the office, we wouldn't be leaving you in Goodwood. Would we? Oh, no. 185. Ow! Cut that. Oh, that is shit. Just so we can clarify everything, we didn't leave you.
Pretty sure you did leave me. That's exactly what you did. You got in a taxi and I was stood on my own by the pizza shop.
The pizza vending machine, you mean?
Pizza container, yeah.
Well, anyone who knows Luke Blanchard knows that Luke Blanchard
Likes pizza.
likes pizza. Shot. But Luke can be a bit of a rascal when he's had a few brews, let's say. So he was dumped. He's left behind
Just like enjoying myself.
at everyone else's expense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bit harsh.
Thank God this is a podcast and not a money game. But that's the nice thing about what...
Shot. You started
Nice.
the business before I started mine, and I probably wouldn't have started a business unless I was sort of forced out of where I worked before. I was more than happy being an employee. So regardless of the size of your business or what you do, it's always I think sharing your problems and sharing your issues, and you can relate them with one another to, no matter what industry you're in. I think you started the business before, and I sort of like talking to people, and sort of it's not like satisfying to hear other people's pains and problems, but it's also a little bit reassuring that
It'll be all right.
well, like what you're going through is
normal.
Like other people are dealing with the same sort of things.
It's a bomb. It's a bomb. It's down there.
It's pretty standard, to be honest. Just a bit like business, just plain sailing.
Oh, you got a stutter.
So shit. Got another ball.
Ooh. Yeah, that had a little draw on it, didn't it? There we go. Yeah.
Watch the giggle. Watch the giggle. You got the giggle. I don't, mate.
Yeah. Did you hear about that new Tesco mega store? I'm building between your ball and the hole.
Oh!
The hole's there, mate. That hole there. Do you want me to show you this one?
Birdie dance.
How did that happen? Oh, that would have been so good.
So, mate, what's the plan with subcontractors? Obviously, you're growing, but is that going to be the plan or consolidate?
Yeah, the business has sort of got to the size that that I believe in the region is sort of enjoyable. We don't have to travel too far. It's all about where the guys that work for us that typically live in Portsmouth or Southampton will go, which is ultimately about an hour away from the office. So there's only so much work that we can win. We're about that sort of size, and just going to really focus on delivering good work in and around the sort of 15 to 20 million sort of.
So are you at a position where you can cherry pick? The sort of, because you mentioned doing little jobs at the minute.
Yeah.
But is that something you want to keep on doing, or are you happy to take whatever you can?
Well, I think supply is low at the moment, isn't it? So demand is yeah. So the other way. buy high, sell low. Or was it the other way?
Yeah. But, everybody knows what you mean.
Yeah. So competition is pretty intense at the moment. So yeah, unfortunately, as good as your relationships are, it ultimately does come down to the bottom line. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to say it's just sort of maintaining the relationships that you got, which obviously is what everyone needs to do, but it's not quite as simple as that.
Are there any firms locally that you haven't yet got into that you'd like to get into?
Well, again,
now's your chance.
Yeah. Our projects are very specific because it's not like building a house which is either typical masonry or a timber frame or whatever. It's concrete frame or it's a basement. So it's the project has to demand simply that. So that's where I spend a lot of my time, is focusing on where those jobs are at a very early stage, and they are sort of in fewer quantity on our doorstep at the moment. So we're having to go further afield. So it's not actually really about focusing on a client, because they may do one job now, but then they won't do another concrete frame or basement for another 10 years. So
if there's someone out there looking in, thinking, I need to talk to Luke, how'd they find you? Golf course.
Oh yeah, not on the golf course. I never play golf, as you can clearly see. And on our website or on LinkedIn. We're not on any other social media, but subcontractors.co.uk.
Come on, let's get back in the clubhouse. Get a coffee.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
No worries.
And let's do one final thought. Well played, Dee.
Well done, mate.
Bit warmer in here, guys, isn't it?
A little bit warmer in here, yeah. From
that was brutal.
You shrunk, actually. It was so cold.
Yeah. Other than that, your hairline's gone back.
Yeah, it's always going back.
The one thing we didn't talk about, golf and business. Look, you and I like to get out and have a knock as much as we possibly can. One, because it allows us to step outside and look in for a minute, which is not what we get to do too often, but also to have a bit of a time away from the office as well and allow everyone to get on with what they're doing. Do you get to do that?
Yeah, no, I don't, and that doesn't actually come very natural to me either. Because if I have I think this is probably quite a male thing as well. If there's a problem, you just tend to just sort it out, and I do that a lot. Whereas playing golf, it's a glorified walk, but I've definitely found that it's helped me a little bit. Like if you exercise, what your solution to the problem is before you've done it, whether you play golf or you've gone for a run, actually. If you've not even been thinking about the problem during that period of time, when you come back, you're very focused and you have clarity on exactly what you want to do. So it's definitely helped me in that sense.
Which is before, mate, it gives you room to think. Because when you're in the problem, it's always more, especially in the office, there's always more stuff going on, needing your attention. When you come away from it and you put your phone down, you do get a little bit of space, and then you hit a bad golf shot, and then you're thinking about how much you hate golf.
Yeah. So what I was saying earlier, now just clicks back on to what I was going to say, is when you're either at work or you're wherever, or I'm always talking about the analogy of golf, and you're stood putting or you're doing a golf swing, you've always got to come back to the simplicity. You can't believe, if you play golf, how actual complicated it can be. But you've just got to always just keep it very simple. So especially in business, sometimes I do think, exactly about the same lines of hitting a golf ball. You can overcomplicate it, and you just
so many thoughts in your head, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good point.
I think it's quite a good analogy actually. Sometimes with your golf swing, it has to be natural. With the business, it has to be natural as well. There's been so many when we are looking at stuff, and you will just overthink it, and you're like, no. It just needs. it's this.
Yeah, try and find the perfect solution. There actually isn't one.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Just find a way of getting through it. I think it's like golf swing, isn't it?
Well,
I thought about it that way.
a lot of
That's deep, right?
a lot of what I've actually learned sometimes, or the things I've learned more from is either something that's gone wrong or things I wouldn't want to do how someone else did something, or the way they make me feel, or trying to really imitate or copy someone else, just being myself. And you really have to put yourself out there and be a little bit vulnerable, and sometimes say you don't know what the answer is. But I do find that typically people actually sort of are really warm to that, or attracted that they know that you're honest, rather than really bullshitting about that you don't know what the actual solution is.
And trying to bullshit your way through it.
And with golf, there's no hiding. If you don't know, you ain't hitting the ball. Yeah.
But it just touched on to what we said downstairs when we were having a coffee. With what we're doing, not only with the podcast now, but with some of the other content that we've created over the last couple of months, there will be people watching this and have seen the videos that'll be like, what the hell is that? Why? Like, they're so turned off by it. But that's fine. Don't mind that. Because we're being able to showcase our personality, who we are. Let's face it, business is boring. Right? Do we really want to be going in every day and talking about subbies and...
Well, I wouldn't watch that video.
No.
It wants to watch a boring video of someone talking about law.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather see someone being sick on the waltzers.
Or falling out of a tree.
And there's
Or go windsurfing.
But like something part of my everybody's business is insurance. Do I know the inside out of insurance? Do I want to know? I want a specialist to come into my business, and I want them to protect me, and I want them to give me the advice, exactly the same as you guys. And
just be normal.
Yeah, just be normal. Yeah,
which is hard.
Yeah, who's the normal one out of you two? We're going to continue, working together, which is great. But I think we just need to keep the feedback coming of the service that you're currently providing. And my personal opinion is that you make my life easy. And I would recommend and suggest that other people out there considering and questioning if they're currently using the payroll system, if they only have a few self-employed people, or if they've got lots. I would definitely say to certainly inquire with you guys and at least understand a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's a myth, not a myth, a misconception I get from some people who go, would you work with me because I've only got 3 subbies? And I said to a guy yesterday, if you've got 2 subbies, if you've got 200 subbies, the service is the same.
Yeah.
You get the same service, the same level of protection, the same access to the platform. We do all the same heavy lifting, regardless how big you are. Is if you're using subbies long term, you're worried, you just have a chat.
Yeah, and like you say, it's the misconception is, because I've only got 2 or a handful of subbies, whatever the number is, I'm under the radar. HMRC don't care. It's all about the how.
Yeah, there's no radar.
And just as an aside, Luke, like I said earlier, mate, thanks for the feedback so far from you and the team. And I've really enjoyed the last couple of years, getting to know you, getting to know the business, doing what we're doing, having a bit of fun. And long may it continue, and long may you continue with the success you've got at Southern Structures.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
Pleasure, mate. When's the next golf trip?
Next week.